Hello all, Rick here. There are many parallel worlds in Star Trek, and the Travellers are self-appointed guardians of maintaining the integrity and existence of those timelines. One of these is Wesley Crusher, who developed his powers during the course of the Next Generation, and had the benefit of role models around him which encouraged his growth into a responsible individual, through admonishment and care, both. But what would happen if someone worse became a traveller, and what's more, someone who had the savant-like intellect of Wes but was raised in a cutthroat environment of conquest and usurpation? What happened to the Mirror Universe Wesley Crusher? The following is entirely drawn from beta canon, as we never see him on screen, combining the continuity of comics and the follow-up narrative depicted in games. He was born the son of Blackjack, Jack Crusher, and Beverly Crusher in 2348 as a citizen of the Terran Empire. Upon being born, he was subject to the common genetic profiling that was required, where he was marked for exceptional neural prowess and a potential genius. Such candidates were supposed to be reported to Imperial Intelligence, Section 31, so they could keep an eye on their careers. However, instead of being logged, Beverly Crusher blackmailed the physician to keep it quiet and alter the record.
There you are, Wesley.
Another strong son of the Empire, Doctor. Congratulations.
Thank you. He's going to do great things one day.
I have the results of the med scans you requested as well.
His neural capacity, cognitive ability, they're amazing.
You realize we must report these findings to Section 31, yes?
No, unless you want your affair with the Vulcan exposed as well.
No, I do not, Doctor.
Then we have an understanding.
To further this, he was privately educated by Beverly, while publicly he was to act as a brash punk of a child. Eventually, Beverly was selected by Captain Jellicoe to serve on his flagship, the ISS Enterprise D, and Beverly took Wesley with her, maintaining the charade.
Jellicoe's asked me to serve on the Enterprise, and I've accepted the offer.
The new flagship? That's great, Mom!
He assured me that you'll be allowed on board, but you'll need to maintain your ruse, son.
What? No! Mom! I'm tired of hiding what I can do!
Wes, if Jellicoe knew about your gifts, he'd exploit them, and if he saw you as a threat, he'd have you killed. You need to be patient, son. Jellicoe is weak. It won't be long until he's replaced.
Yes. You're right, of course.
By this age, Wesley had begun to manifest the earliest signs of traveller powers, and this too was hidden for fear of becoming either a target, a weapon, or a lab rat. Eventually, Jellicoe fell afoul of Jean-Luc Picard, who usurped his command as captain of the ISS Enterprise and saw through Wesley's falsehoods. Picard, however, actually agreed to keep their secret, and in time Beverly felt sure enough about him to allow Wesley to continue to serve under Picard while she returned to Terra. One day, however, she received a visit from Wesley, as he simply appeared in her home. He told her that the Enterprise had encountered the Traveller of their universe and forced him to yield his power to the young Crusher.
Wesley, how? You were on the Enterprise in deep space and now you're here? On Terra?
Something's happened, Mom. Something incredible.
Tell me, what happened?
We found something, Mom. Or rather, someone. A being of great power. Power that belongs to me now.
What kind of power exactly?
Power over time and space. The power to travel great distances in the blink of an eye, and more.
This is the moment you've been waiting for, son. Not even the Emperor can stand against such power.
Yeah, about that. I think the Emperor has been sitting in my chair long enough, don't you?
As Wes becomes an adult, he had grown to be arrogant, sure of his abilities and intellect. He was unstable, veering between maliciousness, ruthless calculus, and relishing the chance to grow in both power and influence. Through the manifestation of his abilities to control time, he was able to rise through the ranks of the Imperial Starfleet and make moves into the political sphere of influence. In a universe where might is the only truth, his understanding of temporal manipulation granted him an edge. While reserved for short bouts, his abilities allowed him to escape reprisals and enact his own plans without being stopped. If someone attempted to backstab him, he could freeze time, then repay the favour. If someone successfully harmed him, then he could rewind events a few seconds and prevent that from occurring. This is not even mentioning how easily he could fold space-time to freeze people he wanted to eliminate. He soon earned a reputation for being undefeatable, and shrouded his exploits in mystery, purposefully building on this reputation of sudden, surgical, and total brutality. This was all in the goal of reaching the throne of the Empire. Targeting the Emperor's allies, support networks, and loyal captains, Wesley used his powers to eliminate them all and walk a blood-red carpet to the throne room. After securing the Imperial ship, Emperor Crusher was basically untouchable, and his powers continued to develop. At the height of his reign, he had developed enough power to temporarily hold an entire fleet in temporal stasis, allowing his forces to decimate resistance, although this level of influence taxed him greatly. For her part, his mother supported his ambition, eager as she was to be the sire of the Emperor, not considering that his pursuit of power was eventually going to lead him to losing himself. It was not long thereafter that he learned of the existence of Voyager, or at least the Mirror Universe version, Conqueror, now degenerated into Seeker. Wesley's ambition formed a radical idea. He would be its new heart. He could find the Seeker probe and force this union of mind, taking control of it as Emperor and ascending to godhood.
Thank you for seeing me, Majesty.
Mom, it's me. No need for formalities here.
As you wish.
Oh, I've seen that look before. That's the son we need to talk look. Okay. What's on your mind?
Wes, this new plan of yours.
What about it?
It's reckless. You've gone too far this time.
And? And what if I have? What then?
You are powerful, son, but you're not invincible. There are still ways to kill you.
Is that a threat I'm hearing, Mom?
This is Terra, son. No one is above the Empire, not even the Emperor.
I am the Empire, Mother. Planets burn at my command. No one is above me. No one. Perhaps you need some time alone to realize this. Guards! Escort my mother to the Inquisitor.
Don't do this, son.
Enough! Take her away now!
You see, the history of this probe follows the timeline of the Prime Universe Voyager, in that it was the fictional continuation of the Voyager program and the last probe to be launched into space to take readings and learn all that is learnable. However, in the Mirror Universe, the directive was altered. Not only was it not learning for knowledge's sake alone, but it was seeking out worlds to conquer, to expand the reach of the Empire. Thus, when the probe was repaired by aliens and its mandate restored, it became a twisted and darker reflection of the already menacing Voyager. It travelled throughout the galaxy, absorbing and repurposing knowledge, looking for its makers to report its findings back to with the desire to find its Emperor and begin its mission of true conquest. For the most part, its different directives mean that it took longer to enter Federation space than Voyager did. However, the Mirror Universe had suffered much contact with the Starfleet that we know, and eventually Wesley learned of the fate of the Voyager from our records. Records that indicated that it merged with the consciousness of a human and ascended to a new multiversal being, an entity that now had a human imagination and ingenuity combined with practically limitless knowledge. Wesley learned of this, and also of the Conqueror program. At this stage, Beverly objected to his plans, seeking to rein in her son. But Wesley's arrogance had grown with his powers, and he had her incarcerated as the one person who knew him best. Didn't kill her, though. After years of tracing the movements of the probe and witnessing its powers firsthand, he enacted his plan to merge with it. It took some time, and there was opposition from those in the Empire who understood that this madman could not be allowed to ascend to an even higher level of power. For the sake of their own preservation, they needed to stop him. But he brushed them all aside in his attempt to reach Seeker. After entering the machine, he made his way to the core and finally revealed himself to the probe, declaring himself its emperor and instigating a merger of minds to control it, which was, unfortunately, successful. Conqueror and the Emperor crossed over into the online timeline to expand his domain there, closing on the Sol system. He used the immense power of the machine to digitize and remove ship after station, planet after planet. Jupiter, Saturn, Mars all fell to his advance until he reached Earth. But then salvation came. Throughout all of these events, Voyager, the version we are familiar with, had learned of this other. It sought out its mirror counterpart, and upon finding it, under the shroud of the Emperor's will, it actually moved to defend its creators, forcing a standstill between the two multiversal powers. Eventually, a Starfleet and Terran Empire team was able to infiltrate the core of Seeker, with the goal of trying to disconnect Wesley from the pilot's chair, so to speak. This team included his mother, who wanted to bring her son back from this insanity. During the struggle, he inadvertently killed her, and, distraught at the act, he stopped his offensive. This allowed Voyager to make contact with its alternate to share its own mind. In communion, the two massive machines came to an understanding with each other and were overjoyed to discover they were not alone anymore. Voyager would act as the ward for both Wesley and Seeker, guiding them towards a more peaceful exploration. They restored the digitized planets and undid the path of destruction that they had wrought, but naturally there were many who wished him to answer for his acts. However, Voyager pointed out that there really was nothing anyone could do to punish him, and only a 12th level power, like themselves, could act as a guardian and custodian of this dethroned emperor. Together, and without further disruption, as Voyager had so many years before, the two left Earth's orbit to explore the wider creation together, now with each other as company. One thing I should probably draw attention to as well is that there are multiple iterations of a Mirror Universe 2. Not only is there a main one for the shows that we visit across multiple series, but also there is a mirror of the online timeline, a first splinter mirror, and several standalone stories that could also be divergences of those timelines. After all, if the prime timeline can splinter into multiple parallels, then so too can any. So basically, we should be happy that the kid who developed space-time warping powers was a complete nerd raised by the right people instead of an egotistical villain who had aspirations of emperorhood. I've been Rick, and until the next lore video, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.